I know what you're thinking. James, Yams, Yim, whatever your name is. That's a nice shirt tuck. But I thought this was a backgammon video. What are you doing outside? Good match.
Good match. What's your name?
Yim.
Im?
Yep. Nice to meet you.
Alex.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Okay, May 24th, 2025, Chicago Open Championship Division Round 1. My first Championship Division match.
So it's a 9 points or what?
Oh, sorry, yeah. And I forget to set the scoreboard. Naturally. Great start. Alright. 5-3 standard opening, making the 3-point, 5-1 standard response. And now we get double threes. And every time I roll double threes, it's blunder potential. I think that's the case for everybody, despite what they tell you. I choose to step up and back and unstack the midpoint. I liked it more than making the 5 in the moment. Because it felt a little more balanced to me. But it is correct to make the 5, nonetheless. Good thing I get another chance at it. I make the 5 with 3-1 despite leaving a direct shot, a 6, and also a 7 to hit back. Instead, Al responds with a 3-1. Good response. Alright, 3-1. I can't make the 5 twice, of course. If I would, I could. So instead I make the bar point and just block in that back checker. But Al rolls a heck of a roll. 6-2, hits in the outfield. And I roll double ones. So at first, I wasn't sure if this was good or bad for me, but it does play. It plays itself, really. And a good follow-up to that 6-2 is 6-3 to make the outfield point. Beautiful. All right, 4-2. I shouldn't have made the move with the 4 so quickly. I should have made the 3 here instead of slotting the 3. There's really no reason to take that checker, that spare checker off the midpoint quite yet. And of course, it's better to immediately strengthen your board versus preparing for it in this position. Alright, I think 6-6 are on the dice, but it's actually a 6-4 he originally rolled. And there's only one way to play it, making the outfield point. 5-4, immediately I see making the 3-point. And I guess the other one plays itself. Slotting the 4, again, just preparing to strengthen the board. And here, Al is going to think about doubling. So, right away I see that I have a stronger home board than him, technically. And I have a lot of contact value in back. He also has a lot of gaps. So my gut instinct is that this is a take. It doesn't hurt to get a count either. So here, in a position like this, I believe I used the 3-2-1 count, which I highly recommend looking into if you are intermediate to advanced and you're looking for a quick method of counting pips in a middle game position like this. 3-2-1 is fairly accurate. Doing the 3-2-1 count here, you don't even have to do the adjustments to get the exact deficit. So without adjustments at the tail end of the 3-2-1 count, I came up with the fact that I'm 15 pips down. Which, again, just solidifies the take for me. So Al cubes. I act like I'm thinking, even though I had plenty of time to. And I take correctly. Alright, 6-4. Immediately you see playing that checker from the 15 all the way to the 5. But there's also merit in just taking the spare checker from the midpoint and preparing to clear that next point. That's your next priority. Instead, he plays to the 5. 6-3 is a small error here. So I think I have to maintain the contact value in back and just play the 2 checkers down from the midpoint. Instead, I run from the back and sacrifice some contact value. Three, 2 hits first and foremost, and then naturally you just clean up that blot in the outfield. It's worth saying I'm doing this video in one take. Sorry ahead of time for all of the stutters and miscalculations. This is gonna be all in one fell swoop here. So 4-1 was interesting. If I would have come in on the 24, I wouldn't really have a great 4 other than taking it off the midpoint. That was my thought process. So I came in high and I used the 1 inside. (4-2), the first thing you see is making the 5, and then you wonder where you're going to use your 4. I chose to just come down from the midpoint with 2 checkers instead of leaving the blot there. (13-5). Plays to the 5. The only play. 3-1 makes the 5 point immediately. (2-1) isn't Al's best. He has to leave that indirect shot in the outfield. So he plays 5-3, 13-12. And I roll an 8. Praise be. So immediately I'm thinking cube action, but usually when you know your opponent's going to drop, that's a good sign that it's too good to double, which is the case here. It's actually borderline, but I choose to play on for 16% gammons. Alright, I make the 6 prime, and now there's really no downside to stepping out from Al's home board over there. (5-2). So yeah, I looked at 18-11. I thought putting a spare on my 6 is really never a bad thing. It also gives me ammunition if Al comes in and I choose to hit loose. (3-2), gut instinct is 21-18, 6-4. Yeah, I also consider just slotting the 1 here. I didn't really see any purpose in doing that. And 21-18, 6-4 is correct. No other way to play it now. Slot the 1. It's not the worst if he hits, but he doesn't. $18-11 is really the only way to play this 5-2. You don't want to sacrifice the 6 prime, of course. Double 6s. I cover first and foremost. I play this. I play this slowly just to make sure I'm not missing anything. And now Al is fully blocked out. He hits his clock. Double 2s. So again, keep in mind why I didn't redouble. I thought it was too good because there's gammons in play. So my main priority now is obviously bearing off safely, but also playing for the gammons. And double 5s allows me to do that. I take 4 checkers off. You leave a gap, but again, it's all about the gammons now. You want to maximize your equity. I want 4 points out of this game, if possible. And up until now, I was thinking I was going to get 4 points. 6-5 is a good shake, though. Small error. It actually wanted you to slot the 4 with the 5. So come in with the 6 and slot, and basically fill the gap in your home board. Not really many wrong ways of playing double 4s here. Prioritize crossovers. Get off the gammon. That's Al's main priority here. Mine is getting checkers off as quickly as possible. And with the 3-2, gammon chances are slim. 3-2 takes 2 checkers. And I'm looking for 2-1, 3-1, followed by doubles, but instead Al rolls double 5s. Alright, I show the gun in my holster. Go through the motion of acting like I'm going to redouble so Al can quickly pass, and we're on to the next one. Really good first game in the match. 1.42 for me, 2.26 for Al. Score is now 2-0. 7 away, 9 away. All right, 6-5, Lover's Leap. Standard opening. Three, 2, splitting down. Prioritizing contact against the race. 4-2, points on head. No other play there. 1-4 comes in with the 1. Forced to come in with the 1. And keep moving with the 4. Important tournament announcements, of course. Can't get enough of those. 3-1, points on head. And This is the first signs of me being a spoiled brat in this match. 6-4 fans, easy double, easy pass. And on to the next one. This is my first kind of video like this. Let me know if you guys like it. If you'd like to see more of this. If you'd like to see more videos in general. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to worry about me spamming you with videos. I think I have the opposite problem. I'm at a steady 1 video per year at this point. I'd like to up that. So yeah, let me know. Also, let me know if you have any recommendations for this kind of format. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, 4-3 hits. 5-1. I come in low here. If I come in high, I'm quote-unquote under the gun. And it doesn't hurt to get another spare checker on the 8. 6-3, you can either make the 3 or the 18, and Al correctly chooses to make the 18 there. Double ones. So yeah, here, again, I don't need to step up that far in the back. I could have gone 24-23, which was the correct play, and then just played 3 checkers, 6-5, to help avoid scenarios kind of like this. You know, I was giving him a 6, a good 6 with that, that checker he has on his 9 point. But anyway, I come in, I hit. Once again, I don't have to step up that far. I could have hit with the 22 and played the 2 8-6. And now this is just a devastator. Double 3s. Comes in, points on head. Gets another spare in the outfield to attack with. Alright, 4-3. Another small error here. I come in with the 3. It's correct to play the 4-13-9, apparently. The way I saw it, if I play this, 8-4, I'm giving Al a good 1. If I played 13-9, I'm giving Al a good 2. On top of the good 3s and 6s that he already has. But regardless, I was wrong. I play disgustingly safely here. And lose the spare checker that's on my 6, which is probably one of the many downsides of playing it that way. 2-1, Al continues the attack. And here I'm praying for a 3. A 3-6 would be beautiful. 3-5 hits, I'm not complaining. Yeah, and I just play the 5 down from the midpoint. Playing it to the 3 and hitting, putting 2 checkers on the bar, isn't far behind, surprisingly enough. That is something I considered for a split second there. Two 1. 2 hits, and we got ourselves the first blunder of the game. Al chooses to make the 22 instead of making the 9. Yeah, I think cleaning up the outfield is kind of the obvious choice there. But who knows what I would have done in the moment, to be honest. 2-4 comes in with the 2, slots the 4 with the 4. 3-2, there's really 2 options. You either make the 7 or you make the 8. Making the 7 gives you a 4 prime with no directs. Making the 8 gives you a faux 5 prime and also a direct. So the choice is clear. You make the bar. Double 3s, I just want to play this safely. So I unstack the mid. I play 8 to 5, 4, 1. Everything else is a blunder. I think the choice is pretty clear here. Three runs to the midpoint, gets another spare on the midpoint, and I like to do the same here. 6-4 runs to the midpoint, places a spare there, and everything else is once again a blunder. I can already tell I'm probably ahead in the race, right? I have 1 checker back. He has 3 checkers back. My main priority is getting that back checker to the midpoint safely. His main priority should be attacking, really. I think his, at first glance I can see why you'd want to play safely from the back there, but this also ends up being a blunder. You just want to continue the attack. You're behind in the race. You shouldn't really play a running play. You shouldn't give up the contact value in your opponent's home board. So yeah, the correct play is 7-3, 7-6. And if I fan after 7-3, 7-6, things are looking up. But instead, Al plays 22, 18, 11, 10 here. Spends quite a bit of time on this one. Alright, 6-2. What did I say? My priority is getting that back checker out. I gotta leave a direct 2 and also 7s. And that is double 1s, I believe. Yep. Small error, 10-6. You might as well just start strengthening your home board, because you know you're most likely not going to get a shot next turn. And that's really the difference there. If you're most likely not going to get a shot, then you just prioritize building your home board, even though it means leaving a blot in your home board temporarily. If he thought he was going to get an immediate shot, or if there's a chance of that, I could see why he played to the 6 point there. 4-3 makes the 3, of course. And I'm considering a double here. I'm counting the race and come to the conclusion that I'm up more than 30 pips here. And it's a clear double. Usually when you're up more than 20 pips in a position like this, yeah, you just want to get the cube out of the way. If I roll doubles, any double besides double 1s is my market loser there. Double 2s, double 3s, double 4s, double 5s. I guess double 6s isn't as great. But all of those 4 doubles and 5-3 would be my market losers there. There's no possible way he would take after that. because I would, with the 5-3, I would just clear the midpoint. So yeah, pays to get that double out of the way. 5-1. Yeah, there's really only one way to play this one, and it leaves, honestly, a hilarious-looking home board with 3 blots, but that is correct. Double 6s makes the 1. Could have just played 13-7 4 times there, but my double 6s, not as happy with this, to be honest. It's getting a little awkward for me on the midpoint there. And yeah, 5-2, clearing the midpoint. I don't know if I would have done that, honestly, even though it is the correct move. I like the contact value I have at the midpoint. And you still had a 5 and a 2 to play without destroying your home board. But it was correct, nonetheless. Double 4s. I'm a spoiled brat. And this is essentially curtains on this one. Unless Al rolls high doubles. 5-1, take 2 checkers off. Always take 2 checkers off if you can. It's almost never wrong. That's fine. Double 3s, takes 3 checkers off. There's a couple gammons here. Never mind. Boring endgame. Snoozer. It's still possible. And that might do it. But he rolls. All right. A great third game for me. I play a 1.7. Alex plays a 7.94. And now we're already at 4 away, 9 away.
Right.
And Al chooses to take a break, and I can't blame him, to be honest. Usually when the luck isn't exactly in your favor, it doesn't hurt to step away, take a deep breath, get a drink of water, etc., etc. All right, here we go. 4 away, 9 away. 5-2. It is correct to play 2 down from the midpoint here when you're down in the match like this. 6-4 hits. Five-3. The way you played it, small error. You want to come in with the 5, come in high with the 5, and split your back checkers there. 3-1 points on head. See, and if he would have split his back checkers, it would have been more likely to make an advanced anchor after this sequence. Double 3s. Yeah, so again, it's important to split the back checkers here. You come in with 1-3, you make the 5 with 2 other 3s, and you split the back. And Al chooses to play 10-7, which just leaves a direct 6. There's not much of an upside to it. And he's immediately punished. I roll double 3s, hit with 2 of them, hit with the 2 others, and point on head. And I'm already thinking, of course, if he fans, or if he even fans with 1, then it's an easy double. And as you can see, a double take. Would have been a blunder not to double. And a double pass would be a small error. You know, I think when you're behind in the match like this, such a deficit, I think you have to take it. I'd be curious to see that one for money. All right, 5-2 just keeps it moving to the 18. Double 1s, hits on the 7 point immediately, switches to the 2 to pick up the other checker. 2 on the bar is better by far. And somehow I talk myself into not making the bar point here. With 2 checkers on the bar, I like the split checkers so I have more rolls to point on the 4 and the 3. And guess what? My blunder pays off. 5-4 points on head on the 3. I think that was my first blunder of the match. And it worked out beautifully, really. No complaints. Double 4s. Yeah, so the correct play here, I make another small error here. The correct play is just to bring all 4s down. I have no idea why I played 14-10, 13-9, 13-5. Because I'm just leaving Al 4-5, 4-6 for no good reason. 4 good rolls out of 36. And he rolls 4-5. Punished. Two 4 is a decent response. I come in with the 2, I hit with the 4. And Al fans. So I'm looking for 6-1, 5-1, 6-5. I'll make that 4. That's my top priority. I roll 2-1. Immediately I'm thinking I need to step up. You can see me reach for my checker there. I would like to step up to give myself good 6s out. So I'm kind of figuring out if I should step up with a 2 or step up with a 1. Even though the correct play all along is just 13-10. Minimize the fly shots, 4-5, 4-6, and make the 10 point. So I land on 23-22. So I step up with the 1. And then I just play 9-7. My thought there, I guess, is I can make the bar if he fans one more time. And also keep all the good rolls to make the 4. All right, 4-2. Comes in with the 4, slots the 4 with the 2. I make a small error here again. Not even small. I make an error here. I say small. I made an error. Yeah, I should just hit on the 21 and then come down from the midpoint. Instead, I hit inside my own home board, and he rolls a 4 and hits me. And that was actually a redouble take. I think it was an error not to redouble there from the bar. Five three. This one's interesting. Another error for me where I play 10 to 5. The only reason I see 11-6 is because you're kind of enticing him to come off the 4 by hitting with a 3 or a 6. So he doesn't make the 4. Yeah. I guess that's my quick analysis of it. But I didn't see that in the moment. It's kind of counterintuitive. Double 4s makes the 9, of course. Naturally just comes out with the other 2 4s to the midpoint, or lack thereof. And that's the only correct way of playing it. Everything else is a blunder. 6-5, you gotta make the bar. That's the reason I slotted it in the first place, to glue those checkers in back. And then the 5 plays itself. Yeah, 6-1 is tough. Definitely don't want to play 13-6. It just seems too stiff, really. So that leaves you with leaving a blot on the 7 or leaving a blot on the 8. And Al chooses to leave the blot on the 7 and risk 4s. And just play 6-5. And I just don't love moving that 1 checker from the 6. That's a good spare to have on your 6. So I probably would have opted for 8-7. And I rolled 4-2. I hit. And I put my spare on my 6. Al rolls 2-1, comes in with the 1, should hit in the outfield with the 2, chooses to hit on the inside and just leave me a shot, which I promptly miss anyways. But I'm happy to roll 5-2 and just make his bar, make the 18. Yeah, double 4s makes the 1. 4-2, there's really no bad reason to just leave the 18 I just made. Yeah, it seems fine just to play 14-6 here for me. I just want to clean up the outfield at this point, get home safely, bear in safely, bear off safely. I don't want him to make my 4, that's for sure, but I have no way of stopping him at this moment. So I continue to clean up with 16-5. I have to leave a 7 indirect shot. If he hits me, he still has work to do with 3 checkers glued to the 24 point. 2-1 slots the 2, everything else is a blunder. Only play. 5-2 is actually a hit. This is a substantial blunder. And I was too chicken to do it in the moment. So I play stupidly safely. But yeah, if you think about it, hitting loose, yeah, you're risking getting hit back. But once again, he still has a ton of work to do with those 3 checkers in back. If I got hit, he still has 3 checkers to get out of there. And you definitely don't want him to make your 4. Even though he might not have the timing for it anyway, so. Anyway. 3-1. I can consider making the 4. And I do consider making the 4. Leaving direct 6s, but yeah, there's really no good reason to do that. I played 6-2. You're supposed to play 6-5, 6-3 there. Which makes sense. (6-4) effectively ruins Al's homeboard and essentially kills 2 checkers. I'm happy with double 3s. 2 in, 1 off. And here I'm thinking I can gammon to win the match. Keep in mind the cube is turned to 2. By gammoning, you get a 2-point win multiplied by the cube value. 4 points. (6-2). I get a checker off. It's a little awkward for me. I have high numbers. I just have 6-5 essentially. That leaves a shot. And Al rolls double 6s. Yeah, the computer wants you to stay back. Wants you to have 1 checker back. In case I roll some of my awkward rolls there. And you're not risking many gammons. You are risking gammons, though, which is why Al decided to hop out entirely. I don't blame him. And here we go, again with the boring end game. Two gets a crossover, and Al gives himself a good 1. There were some gammons until now with that double 2s, so that is curtains. Alright, so we go to 7-0. That one was my roughest game of the match so far. I got a 7.63 PR to Alex's 6.95 PR. 2 away, 9 away. No complaints. Alright, I win the opening 6-4. Being ahead so much in the race, just running 24-14 is correct here. And a really good response from Alex, 4-1, slotting the 5. Not sure beginner, intermediate would find that one so easily. 6-3 safeties and puts a builder on the 10. And 5-2 makes the 4-point. So Al still has to leave a direct 4 for me, which I promptly miss. Instead, I roll double 1s, and I can't complain about that. I make the 4 prime, and Al has a good response with double 4s to put 2 more checkers on the 5. Yeah, 4-2. The only correct move is to make the 4-point here. Everything else is a blunder. I back up just to make sure I'm not missing anything for a second, but yeah, that looks right. Great play from Al. 4-2. Hits loose, and that's also a good chance just to step up and back. Unfortunately, he's punished for it. I come in with a 1 to hit and make the 5 prime with my 2. Probably my best roll, or one of them. And here we have a blunder, 3-6. Computer just wants you to hop out over the 5 prime instead of giving me a 6 and a 1 to hit and sending yet another 1 or 2 checkers back behind the 5 prime. And now there's no bad reason for me to distribute checkers in the outfield. Spread out a little bit. 5-2 again. Hits on the 1. Comes in with a 2. Alright, 4-3. I don't necessarily want to send another checker back and encourage Al's back game here. But he doesn't have the best timing for a back game like this. I have a lot of pips to use in the outfield, and by the time I bring all my checkers around, at this point I'm hoping he's crunched. 2-1's good for that reason. I want to take my sweet time coming around now, so Al loses all value in his home board. This play is an error, so it's right to go 18-16, but then 12-11 is the correct way of playing this. Not exactly sure why. I guess maybe in the spirit of just slowing down, I just don't take the crossover. And I play my slowest possible one, which is just 12-11. All in the spirit of timing. But not exactly sure about that one.
It's a 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so correct play was 23-22 instead of 24-23, and that just gives you a spare to hop over the 6 prime with while keeping that 3-point anchor. $5-2, I'm happy to just place a spare checker on my 6-point here. I look at this, which immediately looks strange. And then I opt for putting a spare on my 6-point here. Looks better. When bearing in against a back game like this, you just want to place spares on all your homeboard points if possible. Gives you less awkward rolls, hopefully. Yeah, 4-2, 24-22. You gotta play 6-2, unfortunately. Unless you want to burn your last 6 in your outfield. 5-2, I have another error here. It is correct to just leave a blot on the 9, which again is a little counterintuitive. it gives him a direct 6. But he does have 3 blots in his home board. I don't know if I considered it. I mean, if I get hit there, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I also don't want to help his timing any more than I have to. If I come in and I hit another blot and send him back. So yeah, that's an interesting one. 6-4, another error. Just wants you to play 22-12. So that doesn't look great. I don't like stacking checkers on the 6 if I already have a spare on my 6. If I'm just trying to bear in and off against a back game, I want to put spares. I want to diversify. And it doesn't hurt to clear this point in the outfield either. So that's what I choose to do there. (6-1). So 6-1, Al chooses to hit here. Yeah, I mean, he does't really have a threatening home board. If anything, by hitting, he's just helping my timing. I get to keep that 5 prime for even longer, and he gets to crunch even more than he has already. So the right idea is 16-10 and just playing 4-3 to start another home board point. Strengthen, and later on hope to get another shot. So, yeah, this is just about a blunder to hit here and help my timing. Now, with 5-3, so I do almost the same exact thing in reverse. So I don't want to hit, which is why I'm hovering here, because again, I'm helping his back game timing. I should have played bar 22 and just played 6-1. Instead, I hit, for better or for worse. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, he wants to keep that structure in my home board, so he plays the 6 to his 3. Immediately with the 6-5, you see making the 1 on his head, but you're helping his timing. And I actually realized that this time and just play 17-6 instead, which is correct. 6-5, he's forced out. And this 6-4 is just beautiful. So the 6 is forced. I have to play 7-1. Beautifully ugly. And then there's no way I'm playing 8-4. And the only other 4 is hitting loose on the 3. Yeah, I didn't want him to make that again. So, and thankfully he fans. Keep in mind the 2 cube that's on Al's side of the board right now. We just forgot to reset that cube. Nobody turned it yet in this game. And I'm thinking if I gammon him that this is match. So yeah, I am not throwing the cube here. I'm going for the gammon to essentially end the match. Fans with 6-3. I roll a 7, quickly cover the 1. For 3, you want to play the 4 from the outside and put a spare checker on the 3 just to diversify. Everything else is a blunder. 6-2. Yeah, plays 6 off, 5-3. I think I take a look at 3-1. But when you're bearing off against a 2-point anchor, you want to keep that spare. And you want to add spares to your 3-point. Six 3 clears the 6. Five 4 fans. At this point, I'm thinking gammons are high. There's a good chance I win this game and match with a gammon. But yeah, with double ones, I don't want to introduce a gap on my 1 point. So instead, I clear the 5. Make sure there's even checkers in back. Six 3. Preps to clear the 4. Two 2 is kind of brutal. But it does give him a 5-point board again. 5-3. Obviously, his main priority was getting off the gammon. At this point, it's seeming more and more unrealistic. Alright, I got odd checkers in back, which isn't great. Not happy about it. No, that's not your phone. That's somebody's phone going off at the tournament. Three 1. Even checkers and back again. I'm happy. Six 5. Keeps even checkers in back. One more good roll. I essentially win the gammon. I win the match. And on to the next one. But backgammon doesn't work that way. I roll 6-1. Leave a shot. And of course he rolls 3-1 and hits. Which essentially removes the possibility of the gammon with fanning there, and with Alex making his 6-point. But that's backgammon. We know what we're getting ourselves into here. 6-4. Six 2. Double 5s. This is actually a double pass for me. An error not to double there. But I'm spooked. I'm thinking if I double and he somehow wins this. Well, first of all, I'm thinking if I double, he has an auto redouble, right? Because it's 2-way. So he redoubles to 4. And then if I lose, it's, you know, the match score is suddenly 7-4. Which is why I was a little shy with the cube.
Alex, this was never turned.
I remind him now because, yeah, I don't want him to make the mistake of thinking he's recubing me to 4 in a position like this. So yeah, we put the cube where it was supposed to be the entire time. I get another shot. I fan with double 4s. Keep in mind, these last couple of moves, all doubles. I should have been doubling, but just being shy with the cube. 5-2. He plays the 2 first, so he played 6-4, then 4 off. Looked a little strange at first, but that's what was happening there. And now Alex, I believe, is getting into double territory. Especially at this match score. I fan one more time, and I believe this is a double. Yeah, double take. And he stops to think about it. See, I was even thinking at the time if he cubes me, it's a pretty difficult position. Or a difficult decision for me to make, rather. But yeah, I mean, he has 9 checkers to get off. I essentially have 7 crossovers. So I think I would have found a take here. It wouldn't have been a take I like taking. 6-3. And 6-3 as well. So I'm out. I honestly think he's, at this point, going to throw the cube. There's no doubt. But he rolls on. 6-2. I'm praying for doubles. And 4-4. It is a brutal game. See, he could have cashed with that last roll, that last cube action. Chose to roll on and quickly paid for it. And that's the difference maker. Now I got a double and a pass. We go to Crawford. With that game, I played a 7.55. Alex was a 9. All right, Crawford. So, in Crawford, if you're not familiar, I mean, if you've made it this far, I assume you're familiar. If you're not, the cube can't be turned for one game once somebody reaches 1 away. So it's 1 away, 9 away. Crawford for 1 game. Cube is not active. Cannot be activated. 6-4 once again is just the running play here. 6-5. The computer prefers the split and down. This is a small error, splitting and then hitting loose in the home board, but I understand the motive there. 6-5 comes in with the 5, out with the 6, and makes the 14. Two 1 slots the 5, preparing to strengthen the home board. And 4-3 has to hit. It has to hit the bar. I do not want him to make that bar point. And I'm willing to risk 6s and 2s in order to fight for it. And double 1s is not his best. Alright, double 2s. Makes the bar. I can't safety checker on the 14, unfortunately, but I can make the bar and add another spare checker to my outfield. 5-4, the computer prefers stepping up. 24-20. Instead, Al plays 2 down from the mid. 4-1 makes the 10. I believe this is double 6s. Yep. It's a little glare there. But yeah, this seems right. Making the 1, starting the 2 and the 3. Everything else is an error or a blunder. 4-3. I think I just clear the 10 point here, which is actually a small error. The correct play is playing 13-6, getting prepared to clear the midpoint there. I thought it was good to add spares, get a spare on my 7, but anyway. 3-1. So I can't play anything from the mid, and I want to keep the spares, because I want to be prepared. If I do get a shot, I want to be prepared to attack when the time comes. And I want to give myself as many good rolls to make homeboard points. So I leave the spares on my my 7 and my 8, and just play 6-2 with the 3-1.
5-3.
Oh, 5-3.
And apparently I'm paying attention, because I call out an illegal move. 5-3 cannot play from the 20 to the 13. 5-1. So yeah, my knee-jerk play was almost just taking the spare off the 7, but once again, I like having as many spares as possible there. Instead, I just opt to make the 1, which is the correct play. Barely. Making the 2 isn't that bad either. But this gives me more attackers when Al has to leave my home board, which is coming up here. All right, 5-2 just clears the midpoint. Yeah, I kind of liked running from the back, but I understand why that didn't look too appealing. Gotta leave a blot under pressure there, but 4-2 makes the 4. 6-5 makes the home board, and then yeah, the 6 is obvious. Uh, 6-4 slots the 3. Everything else is a blunder. Six is forced. And 2-1 is just a beautiful shake. Pick and pass. 4-point board. Six fans. 5-5. First thing you see is making the 2, of course. Yeah, I chose to play one more checker to the 2 and 13-8. The correct play is just playing 13-3. That's an interesting one because you are duping 5-2. And either way, 5-2 ends the game, so you might as well leave the blot on your 7-point there to give yourself some more flexibility. Five-2 hits and goes to the 6. I believe that was a 3-2. Fans. 6-1. There's no bad reason to go 8-7, 8-2 there, which is interesting. Because again, 2 in the air, you don't have to worry about that blot on the 7, and just give yourself more flexibility. 3-1 is a blunder, and I quickly make it, and I gave myself some bad rolls by doing this. 6-5, for example. I don't know why I didn't take a checker off there. I think I just straight up missed that. 5-2, plays safely. I just want to bear off and win the game. Leave me alone. Alright, 5-2. Let me just take 5 minutes to fix the dice here. There we go. Alright, I don't know what I'm thinking about. 5 off. And clean up the blot. 2-1 fans. No high numbers, no high numbers, and high numbers. I have to leave a shot. Internal panic sets in. Am I not going to win the match? Hal fans, and just smacks the clock, bud. I get it, though. I don't blame him. 5-1. I'm just keeping even checkers in back there. Ultimately, the safest bear off. I just want to win the match. Leave me alone. Five, 2. And this should be curtains. Comes in with a 5, and we shake.
Good match.
All right, so that is all. That game, I played a 5.2. Alex played a 2.8. Match summary, 4.6 to Al's 6.7. So not a bad first showing in the championship division. But yeah, thanks to everybody that made it this far. Let me know if this is something you enjoy and if I should do it again.